So what you saw there happened very recently. It was protesters against a vaccine mandate in New York City. And they flipped over a COVID testing site and the cops kind of cared, I guess. They went, whoa, 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 and then let them leave after potentially destroying property. They were not flipping over a tent for mandatory vaccinations or even optional vaccinations. That was just for testing of COVID. But even that was enough to drive them into a tent flipping rage.
It like nearly cut a dad's face open. I don't know if anyone, in honor of IATSE, points. That's what you shout when something very like when someone's walking through a, with a pointy little thing. There is a point at which this evil, and the tent really was the transgressor here, right there. Gets on the guy's face. That is very dangerous. It is also petulant and just a bit of guidance, since I seem to be the person guiding all protesters on what to do. Before you decide to vandalize something, make sure that it would look cool to vandalize. This is obviously satire, but make sure it would look cool to vandalize, because there's something awkward about the daddy long legs, just like, what's happening to me? You can tell the tent's like, I'm gonna be fine after this, but this is weird.
Before it starts, I will put a bullet in your ass, just for the press.
Really?
You're goddamn right. When this starts, you're dead. I will kill anybody that's got press on them because they started.
So that is a video that Anthony Walker spread on Twitter that took place at the recent anti-vaccine, anti-mandate march in DC, with an individual identifying himself through his clothing, at least, as a veteran of the armed forces, saying that he wants to kill that particular member of the press. And when the shooting starts, he's just gonna kill everyone who's affiliated with the press. That's what he says. Jordan, I have a feeling he'll probably he'll have some carve outs for OAN and Newsmax and Fox News, stuff like that. But that wasn't at January 6th. That wasn't an insurrection thing. That was people who'd gathered because they don't want to get vaccinated or be tested. And he is ready to begin murdering reporters as a result of that position.
It's really bizarre. I mean, I think he's also just kind of ruffling his feathers a little bit, but it does reflect like a violent ideology that's really pervasive in this country. And it's important, and when I see people kind of dismiss the actions on January 6th as some sort of like one-off anomaly that was just like got a little too carried away, like those people don't go away. Like they're very much still here, and those people are still, there's probably a lot of people that wanted to be there that couldn't. But like there's a ton of increasingly violent, detached people in America for whatever reason. And I think part of it's fueled by a distrust in institutions, part of it's white nationalism, and just a generally violent culture in this country. But I just really fear that we're going to see more and more of these types of things. And sadly, people are going to start acting out on these types of fantasies. But like really, really odd comment. And I just can't stress enough that people really shouldn't turn a blind eye to it or treat it like it's some sort of like one-off, like January 6th was sort of some one-off anomaly.
Everyone here uses the CDC statistics as a credible source.
They don't use it as a credible source. Go find me one single person here that believes the CDC numbers are actual.
So these are anti-vaxxers that have presented a challenge to Walter Masterson on TikTok, who does some great work. Find me one person here who believes the CDC. Well, it turns out he was up to the challenge. Take a look at this.
Where can people go to verify the numbers on your son?
You can go to the VAERS database. You can go to the CDC website. Like people just don't look at the information, but on the CDC website, and here's the URL if you want to.
You get all your information from the CDC website, but you don't believe the CDC.
What you need to understand is there's a difference between numbers being reported and policy.
Well, you believe the numbers they report.
No, underreported. A lot of these numbers are manufactured.
Well, where are the real numbers?
First of all, you're not going to find it at the CDC. You can find it, listen.
You just told me to go to the CDC website.
That's what
they do tell the truth on the CDC website. It's the mainstream media that's manipulating it.
But we can trust the CDC?
No.
Well, that's clear. So I think Francesca, I get what they're trying to do there, but that was great work by Walter by pointing out the lack of logic. What do you think?
I'm not even sure which numbers they think they sometimes do rely on. But again, this is what conservatives do all the time, which is cherry pick the numbers that affirm their own pre-existing bias rather than reporting on the complexity. I'm sure the CDC does list things like, again, comorbidities, which they love to blame for true COVID deaths, whereas the rest of us don't, because we understand people with comorbidities are also not dying. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, we understand correlation. So they just take the numbers and then apply their like weird fuzzy logic and math on top of it. And that's why they hate anyone who's trying to interpret numbers for them, because there's like, nah, you got to read them backwards. They don't read them backwards to you on mainstream media.